What is up, guys? Got a fun deck for you today. Today's deck is a Harmony deck, so we can try out the new Squirtle cards. So first thing I'll start out with is just kind of the new cards here and the combo we have going with them. So Dana here is the transforming card. Remember, the evolving part takes place after you win a round, so just keep that in mind. It can impact a little bit what your round 2 is looking like. Anyways, the first one here actually isn't too bad if you do need to play it. Generates some pretty crazy carryover, and it also has the Harmony engine. So honestly, pretty solid out of the gate. Basically, into your turn, all Squirtle units with categories that you don't control on the board are going to get boosted by 1. And then after winning around, we got Caretaker. Again, it keeps the Harmony thing right here, super valuable. And on deploy, it's going to boost the lowest powered ally unit of each unique Squirtle primary category you control by 2, and whenever you play a Squirtle unit of a primary category you don't already control, you're going to boost it by 2. So basically just view this, for every category you're playing, you're going to get 2 points. Just generates a whole lot of points over a very long round. And then the extra important thing here is the relic tag, which synergizes with Corexis over here, which again, Harmony, so it's an engine as well, very valuable. Don't underplay that ability. And then whenever you play another relic, you're going to spawn and play Lockfane Convergence, which that was the card that was originally off of this, where, let's get it pulled up here. It's a nature card, which can matter a bit. You're going to create a bronze Squirtle unit with a primary category that you don't control. Just kind of helps fill out your tags. And so, the huge combo here is you play Corexis and you instantly drop the Call of Harmony Leader, because this card that it's playing is a relic. So then it's going to spawn Lockfane Convergence, and then you follow it up with Dana, and it's going to give you another one. Really, really, really strong Pointslam. Absolutely incredible. You could use it for a really good tempo pass against low tempo decks that you're playing against, and honestly steal a card or two from them if you time it right in a round 2 bleed, or just incredible in a short round. So yeah, that kind of covers a little bit the combo there. And then you can see most of the other stuff is the usual suspects for what you expect with the Harmony deck. You could cut Barnabas here. I really like this card. The Gnome tag is pretty nice. Not as critical anymore when you have Chameleons that can give it to you. And then also Percival. So definitely something you can cut. And sometimes for whatever reason it can be hard keeping an Elf, Dwarf, and Dryad on the board. So don't be afraid to kick that. And then also we're running a very, very light poison package, so you could definitely drop like a Cat Witcher here and run like another Ranger for a poison, or run the I think it's the Whispers are the Dryad poisons here. I just don't think they're a good pull off Saskia, so I don't run them. And then so your general game plan here, I'd say is Saskia round 1, blue or red coin. Just if you're on blue coin, it's pretty much guaranteeing you the round, which is really handy. You're thinning your deck, establishing that you can get set up for a bleed, which this deck really wants to do. If you're on red coin, you can red coin abuse with it. So like Saskia is really trying to play round 1. Magic Lamp here, we're having that just for Antherians. That's a really good thing to put the Infuse and Allied unit with Harmony. You can also use Percival too to really get an extra push there in round 1 if you need it. Then your round 2, if you can, is I do Mysteries of Lockfane, Dana, your leader, and then Quarixis. You're going to be shelling out so many points, and you should at least get your opponent like all their, like if you go for full bleed, basically whatever you go with on your bleed, your opponent is pretty much going to have to match. Like there's very few decks I think can keep up with the tempo of Quarixis into leader, follow it up with either Mysteries of Lockfane or Dana, like however you kind of want to sequence all of that. Just make sure you're using Quarixis and Leader in the same turn, but just basically that combo to set up your engine overload. So much is getting thrown out there, massive tempo, and then you're just rolling from there, because the Chapter 1 Unlock Fane is whenever you play a Squirtle unit, boosted by 1 for every category it has, and then if you're playing a category that you don't already control, Dana is boosting it by 2, so it's just point slam, point slam, point slam. All these Harmony engines are proccing. It's pretty crazy what you'll kind of see in the games. And then going into round 3, you just really short as possible, and Late Guardian Dusk aspect here should easily be approaching 20 points. Really crazy what you can get with that. Yeah, so I think that about covers it. Just if you do start changing up things, make sure you pay attention to your categories, because Saskia has to have 10 different primary categories. So just keep that in mind, and make sure you use your chameleons a lot, as often as you can. Pick them because you get carryover onto Dusk Aspect and get that growing like crazy. So I guess last thing I'll mention, because we actually do have relics in the deck, when you play the Late Guardian, the first one, it's boosting. It's going up to 11 points, which is incredible for if it gets Heat Wave. Like, Heat Wave isn't trading as well with this because your deployability is so great. So with all that said, let's hop into some games.
There'll be nothing to pick up when I'm done with you.
Alright, we have our first game here against Pirates. Again, kind of some weird audio quality stuff that came through on the recording. Sorry about that. Don't know what's going on. I've tried messing with it. But anyways, let's get into the mulligans. Basically, we're searching for Saskia. We find her, and then we're going to try and put stuff back that we want Saskia to pull out, right? That's kind of our goal. And Pirates sometimes can commit. Like, if they do discard package, can have a round one. So we're no thoughts considered about playing Saskia. Get her out, try and secure the round, get some thinning. And just basically our sequencing from here. I think Saskia is going to be enough, so I'm going to avoid playing Percival. If it's a deck I'm going up against where, yeah, I think they're going to really fight over round one, Percival is a consideration to go ahead and drop, just to have those two really try and secure it. But we're just going to play Bronze Engines, get Entherian out there, because again, it's going to get a second Harmony going for us, which is really good. And then play Engines, because remember, play your Engines early. Develop those points over time.
Yeah, I work for the police.
It's kind of interesting. I don't know what the Jerkar is doing there. Kind of an interesting little choice. And many guys are going to be aware of this, but just in case, pay attention with Saskia, your tempo, because you can find some really nice tempo passes. Like, you have Engines on the board, and then she's about to pull out a card, you know, all of a sudden it can be like 10 points in a round. And so sometimes you just pass, and you can catch your opponent off guard, and they're down like 20 points, and they don't have tempo. And it's just, honestly, sometimes an easy win, because they'll just forfeit. So pay attention to that. And conversely, when you're going up against Saskia, pay attention to that counter, and if there's any Engines getting passive points, because all of a sudden in a single turn they can shell out 20 points, and you're like, whoa, I am in trouble. Whoa, I am losing on even. So this should just about do it. Our opponent really isn't playing much. I'm expecting a pass here. Yeah. And if they didn't, I think we just go ahead and pass, because see, we're pulling out a card. We've got passive Engines going, so our opponent played pretty good there. I think they realized what was happening. They're like, I'm done. And you know, they traded pretty well overall. You know, we spent, 13 provision card. They just spent bronzes. But hey, we get the round and we get to set ourselves up with second phase Dana and just get ready for massive bleed. With the mulligans there, you might want to consider keeping Elven Swordmaster for the tag, but we're really trying to fish for a Neuromancy in scenario, and we're going to keep Late Guardian in the deck for a short round 3 if it gets to it. But I think we're going to be able to 2-0 here, just depending on what our opponent is able to hit us with and how good their hand is. Gonna go scenario here first. When we play Carwixus, it's already gonna get that chapter 1 and get extra buffs going and just a lot of Pointslam in a turn. Though you could lead with Carwixus if you wanted. Okay, that is a little scary. People trash that scenario, but when I was playing Pirates extensively when that came out, you get into a long round with Endless Voyage and you can adequately remove, answer your opponent's stuff, and then that is stacking the Cataclysm or whatever the effect is. It can get nasty and you can 100% just board wipe. You just have to get to a position where, again, you're, every turn you're probably destroying something on your opponent's side, or getting pretty close to, every other turn is going to destroy and whittling down, and then so over time you're just completely pulling it down. But in our case, because as you saw with the combo here, we just shelled out a lot of big units in a single turn, I don't think we're going to run into that issue as much, but I mean, he's got Endless Voyage and Croc, so we got a battle here. But yeah, Querix's combos are disgusting. Pointslam is unreal. And that's what I was saying, like, you can honestly just slap out, like, go Dana here, maybe one other card, and then just tempo pass. Skirmisher should hit onto Drakar because it'll heal before it boosts, so the damage we did to it would be negated. But honestly, this is a misplay because should have done Dana first to see what is spawning off of her, because that could have been something to clean up. Such as the Dolbathana Archer, Bowman, whatever it is, yeah, Archer. That could have cleaned up the Drakar, and then the and got the spawn, and then the Skirmisher could have hit Croc. So just a sequencing thing that cost us a couple points. Instead we have to play that, which, you know, Elf Tag's nice, but not really doing too much for us since we don't have any movement engines. But yeah, 68-7. The Pointslam is real. And I think we're just going to be honestly stay ahead of our opponent. I really don't think there's too much to be had, and unless he starts removing stuff quicker, he's just not going to be able to overcome the point differential. And this is one of the reasons why I think people say that scenario sucks. It's if you can't get removal ticking fast enough, it's not doing too much. It's just kind of a few points here and there. And it is really not good in a short round. That's why I ran a huge, massive discard package and just tried to pull it off a Compass if I could. If I went into a long round 3, I was like, okay, we're going to do Compass into Endless Voyage. If it's short round 3, well then, you know, Compass into something more point slammy. Depending on tags here, Barnabas is looking pretty weak. I think we're going to lose our Percival, so we'll at least get the Gnome tag procs again, which is good. But, yeah, this is kind of one of the reasons why I said you could kick him. He's not doing too much efficiency. And one thing I want to talk about here, if you'll notice my sequencing, something we could have done is I could have poisoned Croc, but because of revives and just wanting to develop the engine power on my side, like I'm not too concerned about removal because he's not doing that good of a job of it. I'm like, you know, we're going to get Percival out there, we're going to get Dane out there, his Croc can just pop off, it will be fine. And don't really find a good poison now, so can definitely just go and play Weeping Willow front row and just get more points for it, honestly, in this thing. I mean, 81-23. I really think this is going to be a 2-0. Could honestly probably even just, it's not a, I guess it would be a hero pass. Not probably true and true, where it's like, if I hero pass, you know, I lose the game, so not out now, but it's like, I could probably pass here and just win. But yeah, I don't know what, I feel like there's another aspect of our opponent's deck we're missing, because the Drakars, and then he's got Sucrose, like, something else is going on here that we just didn't get to see. Hopefully it doesn't remove our elf so we can actually get 2 out of the 3 with Barnabas, but it's looking like it'll go. Yep. See, where was this stuff earlier? Like, why weren't you trying to answer my engines earlier on? Getting rid of Querixus if you could. Getting rid of Dana. Really, really weird. Yeah, 87-30. He needs what? 58 in 2? It's not happening. So, GG opponent. But yeah, I hope you guys see the power of this deck. It's pretty wicked, isn't it? Pretty crazy. And honestly, like, even if he did, Dust Guardian's at 15, we'd play 2 cards before it. It'd come down at 17 points. 17 points with whatever else we could play before it. He's not winning. Unless he had last say with Morgard. He's not winning. And we just saw card played. So, win is secured. See what his last card is. See, like, what are you doing? You gotta answer stuff faster. He wasn't respecting the removal that needed to go. But anyways. Okay, Warriors been popping up quite a bit. So Warriors have an awful round 1, so this would be a situation where you'd consider not playing Saskia and just try and win it with like maybe Percival and some bronzes. I would honestly probably encourage that one. But I decided, like, well, let's just go ahead and play her. Why risk it? Maybe this guy hits it hard and then all of a sudden we're in trouble. Let's just go and get round control. So we're going to go ahead and play it. Also, the thinning's nice. I had some games where I went into a short round 3 and I had Scenario and Dust Guardian and I missed one or the other and it just cost me. That it played so well through the game, it's like, dude, if I'd just drawn it. So we'll take the thinning here, but not too concerned about winning this round 1 because again, Warriors have terrible round 1 unless they really just want to throw some stuff at it. Just because things like Veteran and the evolving cards and all that, it's like they're saving that. They need their units to get stronger. Something I want to ask you guys is, do you really find the like Highland Warrior spam, you know, raid overload to be worth it? Like, I guess the payoff with Braun, King Braun, kind of can be. You know, he can boost up for quite a bit. But I just feel like, except for, you know, gutting slash, you know, coming in for like 7 damage or whatever, which is crazy for a 4P card, and then obviously Primal Savagery, which is just phenomenal points. It's like all the other stuff is just kind of like, okay, like your Stunning Blow that comes in for like 9 damage, like, great, you destroyed my 4-power unit, good job. Your low tempo Highland Warriors were sure worth it. But I mean, they still win games, so they're doing something right. I just have never found that version to be good. And you still run Highland Warriors, you just don't spam them, I guess, is the thing. You just play them just so, again, your 4P raids can be pretty strong, and Blood Eagle easier. Death Blow on that. But I guess War Clans too. So it's like, okay, now I'm talking about it, I can see it, but I just feel when playing it, it's like I just feel like I'm losing points compared to just playing more point-slammy warrior cards, or even trying to fit in some engines with like Alula and Herkia and stuff like that. But again, you can just see what we're doing here. Just playing out engines, trying to push them out of the round. And we're at counter 2, so we're definitely going to play one more card, but I think we'll pass after that if he doesn't get any serious tempo down and look like he'll contest the round, which this could be a contest right here. No, it just plays Highland Warrior. See, like all that, and it's just, I don't know if that's the play. And yeah, the points look close, but trust me, like we flip our stratagem, and at the end of the next turn, like we're about to skyrocket up ahead unless he commits something big. So it's just kind of like not really doing that for a whole lot. And also, you know, it is good that our opponent would be trying to set up removal because you're going to need it against Harmony. But from my perspective, I'm not too concerned about him having a lot of removal because we're just going to points him and get so many units out at once with the combo. It's like you're just not going to be able to answer that fast enough. Onslaught could answer it fast enough. I mean, we saw in the previous game they failed to, but they theoretically could. You know, and Slave could answer that fast enough because they can kind of do 2 things at once with their leader. But their leader does not inherently remove something, it just sets up for their own units. So, yeah. We're going to go Tempo Pass here. We hit the 2 armor, of course. I have terrible luck with that. But you could see we had a unit coming out, we had passive engines, like we're good, and they're gonna keep ticking. So warriors don't have a lot, and there you go. That pass could win you the game. We won on even on blue coin. Our opponent messed up. He didn't respect the Saskia tempo, engine tempo, even though they hit the armor. And that's the moves you need to be looking for. That big level strategy choices like that can just straight up win you games. Very nice hand here. I'm gonna put Lake Guardian back just because I don't want to play it now. Gonna try and draw into it with the Neuromancy. If it comes down to it. Don't draw it, so that could actually be a little bit risky later on, but you know, we won on even here. So I'm not too concerned. But yeah, Late Guardian's usually just a mulligan for me because I don't want to see it till round 3. Especially not when I'm not going to have last say, because it's just going to get deleted by Morkvarg. Or get champions charged. But we won on even, we have insane tempo here. Could also just be a tempo pass. But he's got discard package, so he's actually going to be able to keep up. Depending on how his hand is. Ooh, that Chameleon's a nice hit. We need a lot of carryover. Yeah, 38 points though. And this is what I'm saying, like, okay, your raid cards have a lot of value, but try removing what I have 5 engines on board. I mean, Chameleon's a little bit of a different type of engine. Just can't. It's the same thing like Northern Realms, like why the Golden Necker Northern Realms decks are disgusting. Because it's just like all of a sudden in a single turn you have like 5 engines on the board. And even like Nilfgaard can't keep up with that. And then Nilfgaard, or Northern Realms engines just get to do their thing. So I just hope that's, I guess for newer players, it's a learning thing for you. If you're playing engines, if you can figure out ways to get multiple ones on the board at the same time, you can really utilize and see the strength of them. If he hits 2 discard targets here, he'll be able to keep up in points. Okay, he only hits 1. He's down 20. It's not too bad for our opponent, for all things considered, but you look at our hand, we've got a lot coming out. Should go Percival here. I want to play in going like Antherian first type deal because you don't want to be going too tall. And so there you play Percival, the taller he gets. Opponent gave up. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that slaughter. And I'll see you next